This mutation is called the Quick and the Dead, and it is played on Dead of Night. We have two mutators active, we have Black Death, and we have Speed Freaks. So let us have a look at the masteries while the players get set up. Player 1 playing Karax, we have level 89 mastery, 30 points into structure HP, 30 points into the repair beam, and 29 points into the chrono boost mastery. And Karax is playing the Architect of War prestige, the IDEF prestige, and then we have Zagara. So Zagara has gone for 18 points into the Zagara Energy Regeneration Mastery and 10 points into the Zagara Attack Damage Mastery, 28 points into the Zergling Evasion, and 27 points into the Intensified Frenzy Mastery. Zagara playing P1, which is the Scourge Queen Prestige. So Zagara will be unavailable, and actually in this case not really a bad idea, because Zagara is going to be a very big liability on this map, given that Black Death is active. So the mutators, we have Black Death and Speed Freaks. Black Death will give enemy units a certain chance to have the Plague debuff, and when you kill these enemies, you can see there, they're colored a little bit in black. When you kill those enemy units, the Plague gets spread to the units around them, and you can see over here that this is what is going on right now. So all these Zerglings now will have the Plague debuff, and that is going to be a bit of a problem. These Zerglings are going to be dying very, very quickly. Now, we also have Speed Freaks, which allows enemy units to move really, really fast. So there's not going to be any kiting going on here. It's purely a matter of just clearing the enemy units as quickly as possible. Now, one of the things that really makes this useful is that Karax is going for the Architect of War prestige. So this one is basically the IDEF prestige. This allows your structures to gain a lot of the buffs that Karax would normally have for his units, at the cost of the fact that you cannot actually heal your units. The repair beam will only target the structures. So this is purely a defensive prestige. You can play it aggressively as well, but the intent here is to strengthen Karax's tower play, which is what he's going to be doing here. And obviously towers do not get hit by Plague, which makes him immune to the net, and just makes Karax such an effective commander against something like this. And you can see over here, Shield Barriers on the front line to try and tank. And Zagara eventually will start to push through, and you can see these spars again, like they're moving really, really fast. What is their movement speed at? Yeah, they've gotten like 3.62 movement speed here. Everything moving really quickly. And one of the things that makes this mutation so difficult is the Speed Freaks is very problematic when combined with the Black Death Mutator, because these enemy units get in your face, so you can't really kill them from range, which also means that you're getting some more issues as well. And Spar is now starting to annoy Karax a little bit by dropping the stasis on top of these pylons and just disabling these out. But Zagara having absolutely no problem dealing with any of that. And we also have a Baneling Nest here that is being chrono boosted. So you note that if your ally chrono boosts your Baneling Nest, it does mean that your Baneling Nest will start to produce Banelings faster. And remember that this is only for the Baneling Nest. Stukov's Infested Colonists compound is not affected by this buff, but this is very, very useful here. Now, what I would like to see is I'd like to see Karax use his Chrono Wave here. So he's still macroing up and getting some more resources built up. He's building up his worker count. But he's also getting some upgrades here. I think Chrono Wave would be really nice to be used here to just, you know, speed everything up along. And it'll also help Zagara get a little bit of a, or at least a pretty big jump in the Baneling count that she is currently waiting for here. So we have some more cannons being dropped as well, some pylons here, and now these cannons are going to be good enough to be able to hold. But one thing I would also be interested in seeing from Karax here is a Robo. So going for Colossi, like having the Colossi with the extended thermal lance upgrade and the fire beam upgrade, Colossi are just amazing at holding and even pushing the enemy bases on the night. Now maybe it is very possible that Karax might not be wanting to push here, because you don't really want to get your Colossi infected, because that's almost guaranteed to happen. But having a few Colossi here will help a lot. It'll help Karax a lot in being able to defend here. So we have some more upgrades coming out as well. We have the level 1 shield upgrades. We also have the optimized ordnance upgrade, and we also have the rapid recharging. So there is a very good chance that I think he's going for the shield battery buffs. But again, energizers would help as well a little bit. Spar is just being so incredibly annoying. We have some bile launchers being added here for Zagara, which is an interesting tech choice, just to keep these annoying spotters off these pylons and disabling these things, but spires are ridiculous. I actually give you guys props for not wanting to redo this, because if I was doing this kind of strategy, I would definitely just be like, nope, I'm not playing up against spires. Spires are ridiculously annoying, just skip them. But we have an army of banelings now. We're just running all the way through. Just 8-clicked on all these structures, and they're going to be clearing these things out very, very quickly. A few zerglings and a few of these banelings have also been infected, but Zagara is just going to be pushing through here and clearing out the rest of these structures here. So we have, again, some more shield batteries being added here for Karax, which is nice. And one thing to also note is just make sure that you're not really flowing a lot of resources as Karax. A lot of people who play defensively as Karax on this map, even though Karax is not really required to play defensively, they usually flow a lot of resources. So for Karax play, usually what I would do is I would go for EU-centric builds here. So this is actually kind of nice. You can see the bio launcher just attacking so fast over here. But one thing to note is that when you're with Karax play, it is just not necessary to defend. You just have a bunch of Colossi, and those Colossi will be more than good enough to clear out the enemy structures and help their ally out. But to be honest, Zagara and Karax, maybe Karax defensive cannon play, but those were not the commanders that I would think of when I would be doing something like this kind of build. When I was playing this, when I would play this kind of mutation set. If you're going for strictly defensive, then Swan might be a little bit better, and for aggressive, you can play something like Hot Corner. But the reason why I casted this game is because, you know, we do have some interesting commander choices here. So for that to come up, we have some Solar Lances being used as well, which is kind of nice. So Solar Lances, very useful. What I'm going to do also is I'm going to switch over to the Zagara's point of view. So that should be a little bit better, so that way the minimap does not disappear all the time. But one thing Karax can do, and I think he's aware of this, he's actually gotten a few way too many upgrades here, so I can't actually see. But one thing Karax can do is if he has the solar flare upgrade for Solar Lances, which sets the ground on fire, he can get a lot of value from his Solar Lances because the dot damage actually takes out the structures over the course of the dot time. So that is something that Karax can utilize over here as well. So we switch over to completion. We have 160, and we have 114 out of the 150 structures here. And this is kind of where Zagara will tend to struggle here. It's like, yeah, you're 8-clicking these structures and getting them down one by one, but it does take quite a while. Now over here, Karax has actually sorted out this area as well, but like I said, the spires are going to be really, really annoying, and now there are aberrations as well. I'd like to see maybe a few Kaidaran monoliths being added to the mix here. I think Kaidaran monoliths might be a little bit useful for Karax. Just getting the extra range and just dealing with those really tanky aberrations, because there are a lot of aberrations here, may be really annoying. And additionally also, as I said earlier, just having a few Colossi. I think Karax is going for these Colossi right now. I would try and get the Colossi out like a lot earlier. It's very possible here that Karax will be going for the Colossi because he realizes he needs that splash damage, but I would have gotten them much, much earlier just to help out a little bit. Now, obviously, again, like I said, they do make very, very big targets. They have very, very high aggro priority, but I think in the long run, it is very, very worth it. But over here, nothing really seems to be... We have some bio launchers even targeting this area here, so it's going to be doing a little bit of damage, taking out some more of these guys here. Bio launchers already getting a few kills. And we have some more bio launchers here as well, so this is actually nice. And we have Kaboomers, which is, I think, probably the second worst infested that you can get. So congratulations, guys. You have hit the jackpot in terms of the most annoying things to deal with. And the reason why Kaboomers are really annoying is because they do this. They just deal this dot damage over the course of time, and after they're dead, they still keep doing damage. But Repair Beam doing a lot of work right now. Repair Beam has been upgraded as well, which is really nice. We also have Reconstruction being researched here for Karax, which is an interesting upgrade, because I cannot see any Sentinels with Karax. Yeah, so I do not know why the Reconstruction upgrade has been researched, but maybe Karax intends on transitioning to an army-based build once he's fortified the position. So that is something that Karax might be interested in doing. And now we have a Chrono Wave out, and this is like one of the best things. I have played P1 Karax, and it is just so much fun to just Chrono Wave and just instantly, like, just take a look how quickly these things just melt with Kaboomers and all that. It's just so much fun to Chrono Wave and just see your cannons just go to town on the forces of Amon, and in this case, the infested forces. But nighttime almost done, 40 seconds left. All seems to be good. We have a trickle of Zerglings over here, which is really, really gutsy because, yeah, so one of the things that happens is on the second night, onwards, if you start poking the infested structures, they will spawn volatile infested, which is usually why you do not want to send Zerglings over here. So I understand the reason why they want to try and clear this as quickly as possible, but what I would probably do is just keep my Zerglings in the base. Like, it's just not worth pushing in during the nighttime, especially after the second night. On the first night, I don't think there are any volatile infested that can spawn, but now there is a flood of Zerglings making their way. So we have a lot of Scourge as well, so the Scourge nest was added. I'm assuming no Scourge were actually made manually, so these ones were just the free units that were spawning over here. So again, here you can see the Solar Lances that are being used over here. So unfortunately, Karax did not have vision, so he's not really going to get very much value out of the Solar Lances. So that is somewhat unfortunate. One thing you can do with Karax is make a bunch of observers. So we have, okay, yeah, so we have Firebeam upgrade being researched. We have Colossi coming out as well. Really nice tech choice here. One thing Karax can do is add some observers and get those observers to provide vision in siege mode, and then he can use the Solar Lances to get a lot more value out of the Solar Lances here. But we're down to nearly 50% of the structures left, so Zagara is slowly starting to clear this. There's a few lurkers over here that are being a little bit problematic as well, killing off some more of those Zerglings, but those infested structures have been cleared out on the northern side. And there's actually some really nice splits here. So Zagara is actually splitting up their army, just trying to utilize their Zerglings to the best of their capabilities, and they're able to do that as well. Karax helping out, but yeah, there's a lot of good value here, and Banelings also being morphed right now. These Banelings will also be infected by the Plague debuff, which is somewhat unfortunate, but overall, not too bad over here. They're pushing really fast right now, and one thing that has really helped these players is they're actually splitting up their armies. So it's not just F2A moving one side like, you know, a certain co-op caster tends to do. They tend to split up their army, and because they're able to split up their armies, their Zerglings are not, you know, the Zerglings are not just getting completely wrecked by Amon splash damage, and they're able to clear a lot more structures than you would normally expect them to do. Unfortunately, the Scourge here are not really going to be doing anything here, so we do have some Solar Lances being used here by Karax as well. Again, the Solar Lances are actually missing all these infested structures, which is somewhat unfortunate. Karax can actually snipe those infested structures with his Solar Lance, but I understand the sense of urgency because these players do not want to last until, they don't want to start until the third night, but I think they've pretty much fortified all these areas out, so everything should be good, and now Zagara will be getting a very nice buff from the Baneling's nest here because of the Chrono Wave. We have some more Banelings on the way, more Zerglings going to go and clear these structures out as well. 24 structures left, really well cleared over here. Karax just slowly focusing down the rest of these things here. There are 2 more infested structures on this spot, and a few more Scourge here as well. Banelings will detonate on the Biodome, so that is all going to be cleared. And you see, this is the problem. It's just like, once you start attacking an enemy infested structure, it spawns a set of infested every 30 seconds, I think, as long as you're, you know, as long as it's taking damage. So the first poke that you give it, like, the infested are going to spawn within, I think, 2 or 3 seconds. There's something like that. It does get really annoying, but I think these players have everything pretty much fortified right now. These things are going to go down. There are no Colossi over here, and actually, very surprisingly, no Kaidaran Monoliths. I think Kaidaran Monoliths would help a lot. So 3 pylons being added here because those spires are really annoying, but I'd like to see some Kaidaran Monoliths, actually. Karax is filling a lot of gas, and the Kaidaran Monoliths are really solid here. And, you know, maybe not, like, because these photon cannons are, you know, they're going to be killing a few things, but Kaidaran Monoliths are really good for taking out these, like, really annoying high HP units, like the Aberrations and the Special Infested. Just having a few Kaidaran Monoliths will help a little bit. You see the Colossus over here doing a good enough job, getting attacked by the little Spooter on the top here. And yeah, these things are just so ridiculously annoying, and add Speed Freaks to it, and they get even more annoying as well, because they zip in, and then they disable something, and they run away. You know, you maybe get like 1 photon cannon shot on them, which means they don't end up dying, which means they end up disabling everything else, which means when they start disabling things, then they run away, and it just completely triggers me every time I see these spars. So Spar will end up going down eventually, but there's another one to take its place, and again, disable the other thing as well, and it'll run away. And now we have the Stank that has spawned on the 3rd night of this map, and the Stank will also be moving at the speed of light. And now Zagara is getting a bunch of Banelings over here to deal with this. I don't know if that is going to help. Banelings are not particularly effective, but Karax has death from above, and he's using Spear of Adun as well to weaken this area out. And again, He actually has about 20 seconds left until the Chrono Wave comes out, so that is really not much of an issue. Uses the rest of the Spirit for Dune energy as well to kill off the Stank. Flowing actually about 100 energy here. Spars just going completely to town here, and now there'll be a lot of Banelings coming up from this Baneling nest. You'll see here, Zagara is just rallying these Banelings over here, and I'm not really sure why. There's nothing for these Banelings to kill just yet, but Zagara has a lot of Banelings right now, and Zagara will basically be A-clicking over. Oh, they want to go for the Virophage. The Virophage may actually spawn some Volatile Infested, so Zagara will have to be a little bit careful, and it's very likely this Virophage will despawn. So this might also be a bit of an issue. Yeah, the Virophage has despawned. I'm pretty sure that is the case. Yeah, the Virophage has not been killed off, but this is pretty much it. There's a random hybrid over here. This is being a little bit annoying as well, but not too much of an issue. And one random biodome. And this is pretty much going to be the mission cleared. There is nothing really else here to commentate on. Structures are just going to be clearing out. Oh yeah, the other thing to note also is hybrid spawn at the end of every night, I think. Or at the start of every night, there will be another set of hybrids that will be spawning in various spots here. So there are a few lurkers. There's no detection, unfortunately. So that lurker is going to be getting a lot of kills here. But those are all the infested structures that are going to be ending up getting cleared. Unfortunately, 547 Zerglings have died. 203 Scourge Baneling spawns and 208 Banelings have given their lives in the name of trying to clear this thing out here. So where are these? Oh, they want to go for the bonus objective. Okay, so I guess that is the thing you can do as well. Do note for weekly mutation casts, I know these guys are new submitters, so I'm okay with that. But for you guys who are like thinking of submitting your replay runs, do remember that the bonus objective is not required for the weekly mutation casts. So it is much better for you to just clear and close the mission out, and rather than just staying for the bonus objective, because it's pretty much a given that you've gotten the bonus objective. The entire map has been cleared right now, so there's no way you're going to be losing this mission. So it's just perfectly okay to just go ahead and clear the mission out, and it's just understandable that if you want to stall out, you can do the bonus objective here. Karax is just going to spawn camp the Virophage, which I guess is okay as well. And yeah, so, and like I said, new submitters, I do encourage people who are watching the Starcraft to Coop.com like YouTube channel to submit their replay files for the upcoming mutations. If they are marked as red on the weekly mutations page, you are very welcome to submit your runs, and I will try my best to cast them. I know there are sometimes I will not be able to cast the newcomer replays because I will get a very, very nice mutation solo for a really difficult mutation, so that is something else that to bear in mind. And additionally as well, please do not pick commanders like Stetman, P2, or Zeratul, or Tychus for your weekly mutation games, because those commanders are overpowered, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people would agree that they're not particularly fun to watch. This mission could have easily been done by Zeratul and Zeratul Stukov or something. Big commanders are a little bit unique. Big commanders are a little bit unfavored on the mutation. Give it a little bit of a challenge. Make it interesting for the viewers to watch as well. So a few tips for your submissions. But those are all the infested structures cleared, and that is GG.